Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR Heat 5 career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we head racing from Iowa Speedway, fresh off of, well, a bit of drama in the following episode where we kind of went at it with some of colleague racing. We had a bit of a moment with the 31. We as well had a big moment with the 10 of Noah Gragson and actually took him out and myself late in the running. You see some social media reaction to that on your screen there. So it was a pretty rough night. We were having a frustrating night in Kentucky. Things just weren't going well, and we ended up having a bit of a meltdown, to say the least. So yeah, it's unfortunate. To my surprise, however, NASCAR does not drop any penalties or even a probation on us. So we escape it, and we focus in on this Iowa Corn 400 weekend, where there's some big news this weekend. But before we jump into that, check out the tires that we are going to be using. So on the short tracks and road courses, we have the green striped Goodyears, and then of course the super speedways, as well as like the 2-mile ovals like a Pocono or Michigan, you'll be seeing the blue stripes, and then of course the yellow for everything else, the 1.5 miles basically. Now as we are here from Iowa for practice, the big news coming into this weekend: Stewart-Haas Racing announces where they will be with, or who they will be with next season, and it's not Honda. As we know, Honda is coming into the sport, but no, Stewart-Haas Racing will return to Chevrolet going into Season 4 of the NASCAR Heat 5 career mode. The news is officially out. They will head to Chevrolet here now as I'm out of practice early on after smacking the wall. So the big news, though, was Stewart-Haas Racing and Chevrolet reuniting going into next season, and we'll wait and see, what comes out of that. But there's things to look forward to as well. We need to find out where Honda, what teams they're going to be with going into next season, and I hear that news. They say first team announcement is coming very soon. Qualifying underway, a goal of a 23.151. We run the inside here right by that yellow line now as we open up the wheel on the exit at 2. Really tight there on the exit of the corner. A really bad exit, and that hurts the whole lap, but then it would hurt it even more when I had the same situation out of turn 4. Really tight, having to back it down. Not pretty, and that's going to put us way down the order with a 23.724, 0.6 of a second off, P27. That's disgusting. We have better expectations than that, and hopefully we can improve in the race. But yeah, that was bad. We're definitely gonna have to work on the setup of this car. As you can see, the rest of the qualifying order: Todd Gilliland rounding out the top 20, Ty Gibbs rounding out the top 10, but on pole, your front row in general: Chase Elliott, Shane Van Gisbergen, Kentucky winner from last episode, now the second driver to get multiple wins this season. Now as we focus in on the other series this weekend, Truck Series was in action. Ty Majeski actually picks up the victory over Stuart Friesen, Matt Mills, Lane Riggs, Caden Honeycutt there, the points leader, as well Marco Andretti and Dalton Sargent, 2 drivers with top 10s, but you see the rest of the finishing order there on your screen to wrap up Gateway. But Xfinity Series also in action this weekend, and it was Carson Kvapil getting his first win for JRM over Allgaier and Brandon Jones. William Sawallish continues his impressive season in the top 5. Zilish finding some more consistency, and Caruth as well in the top 10. As now we'll focus on Cup Series action Sunday here from Iowa.
Welcome everyone to the Iowa Corn 400. It's time for the big push towards the end of the regular season to see who makes the playoffs. And guys, it's been an incredible season with only 2 drivers winning multiple races.
There's still a few names we expect to see win races too, Rick. Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, and Bubba Wallace. None of them have found a way to win yet.
Don't forget Keselowski either, guys. He is very capable of winning still. And the biggest one of all, Kyle Busch. How has he not won a race yet?
All right, boys. Yeah, let's move on from last week. Focus on tonight and have a good one.
We know how to bounce back. Let's make it happen.
We're ready to roll here from this Iowa Corn 400 now. Stories of the race you see there on the right side of your screen. Nobody actually going to the back of the field, which is nice to see there. Everyone getting through inspection and whatnot. Ryan Blaney looking to continue some of that momentum he's had here in recent weeks. Now, what can SHR bring to the table tonight here under the lights in Iowa? Fresh off the news, of course, that they will go to Chevrolet next season. We got that beautiful Siemens paint scheme on the car now. now as we are ready to roll from P27. A lot of work to do, but the green flag is out, and Chase Elliott, Shane Van Gisbergen lead the field down into turn number 1. Just as I mentioned earlier, only 2 drivers have gotten multiple wins in the Cup Series this season. My teammate of Ty Gibbs in the number 54 Monster Energy Toyota Camry, as well as SVG picking up his second win last episode in Kentucky, and a last corner pass on his Trackhouse teammate of Ross Chastain. He picked up his first win of the season at Sonoma Raceway. SVG certainly establishing himself as a threat as we head towards the playoffs, but we still got plenty of races to go until the playoffs now, but less than 10, that's the big thing. It's kind of in that focus point now of we don't have to worry, we are locked in, we've got to win, but other drivers have to worry, and surprisingly, our teammate of Denny Hamlin is one of those names. He has had a rough final season of his Cup Series career. I have heard he might have an announcement on the way soon, so we'll have to stay tuned on that. It might have to do with his own team, but there is a few announcements on the way. Of course, Honda plans to have their teams announced before the playoffs start, so there is certain announcements that will be out of the way before the playoffs kick off, so of course we can have more focus on the playoffs and how that of course goes, as I do think this is the season where we have the ability to make it to the Final Four. Do we have a chance to win a championship? Not quite sure. But early on here in stage 141 laps, keep in mind 35% races now, and we were not looking so hot. We started P27 and we're running around where we started. Shane Van Gisbergen, however, from second to outside the top 25, and now here I am up the inside. We're 4 wide in the middle with SVG, Larson, Noah Gregson as well in the number 10 Colleague machine. We of course had our big beef last episode with that Colleague Racing team, but we get past Gregson without any issues, and of course Gregson was the one that we completely cleaned out late in that race, but hopefully both of us can kind of move on and we can keep our cool from that one. Focusing in on the car, however, I mean, we're now 8 complete laps in and we've only gained 4 positions, and I'm just really struggling with the handling of this car. Specifically, it's really tight on this short run. There goes Sammy Smith passing me now, and SVG was back to my inside, so now with 32 to go on the stage, we cannot make it on field. We will have to pit, but I mean, we're struggling to go anywhere right now. The handling of this car, not great. I got no idea what to tell you. It started tight, but now it's starting to get loose.
Okay, we'll take some cracks at it here, don't worry.
You heard me mention to my crew chief of James Small that it was starting to get loose there, and I think one thing we've really improved on in this season of the career mode compared to our duration with Colleague over season 1 and 2 is the ability to work on the car as the race goes on. I've been getting way better at that. Even after all these years of playing Heat 5, I still suck when it comes to, you know, making adjustments and whatnot, but we're getting better here in season 3 for sure, and it's been showing. And I think we're going to need to do that today. Brad Keselowski now out in front of Chase Elliott, and look at the gap on the track map. Him and Elliott both have driven away, but we pass Hamlin for P17. Hamlin again not looking strong, and here's actually a radio update from the 11 team.
Same different week, man. I don't get it.
You hear the radio from Hamlin, and his frustrations continue. There was a bit of promise, you know, after a rough start to the season, but it's kind of gone in the wrong direction again. And Hamlin's going to need to figure something out, and we'll have to wait and see what's going on there. But Joe Gibbs Racing, I think, is going to have to develop a planned crash. In turn 3, William Byron now around. Larson involved as well. Caution flies as AI decides to run into the back of the 60 of Justin Haley. Everybody's going to come into the pits here, fill it up on fuel, 4 tires, etc., make adjustments. We only had about 11 laps of fuel in the car, so we weren't terribly far away from pit stops. So mainly going for wedge adjustments there. Actually made it tighter. Went up to 50.3 and as well added some grill tape. The reason I went up on the wedge was because as that run was going on, I noticed the car getting looser to a point where it was uncomfortable. So I was more confident in having a tighter car later and dealing with a little bit more tighter of a car in the early run. At least we won't be sliding everywhere in the long run. At least that's the expectation and the hope. Out of turn 2, clear of the 60 of Justin Haley. I mean, we're actually doing pretty nice right now. We're into the top 15 as we started, of course, down in 27th place. So I was complaining in the first part of the stage, but we've done a fair, decent job here of rallying our way forward. Of course, a lot of racing to go still in this race. Brad Keselowski in control. His future in the Cup Series uncertain as of this point. Now his contract comes up at the end of this season, and he has a decision to make. Is he going to step down from the driving role and just focus in on an ownership role? Is he going to stick around a little bit longer? We'll have to wait and see, but I think some news will be coming out on his future in the near future in that number 6, and he is in the battle for the playoffs right now. I expect Keselowski to be in the playoffs, and as well, there's the uncertainty around the 34 of Todd Gilliland. Your Daytona 500 winner comes in about just over 10 points out of the top 30, and of course, in real life, it doesn't matter where you are in points. If you win, you're in, but Heat 5, the way it was at the time, top 30 in points can only be in the playoffs, and there's Gilliland right there having a decent run tonight, running in the top 15, and we know they've brought some upgrades to that Ford team as they've been starting to put more resources in for front row, especially now knowing that Stuart Haas is leaving, but we got past Gilliland. He was actually going backwards on the outside, but here I am going backwards as well. I am just struggling here, and nearly into the left rear of Kyle Larson, and there goes Buescher past me, Haley, his teammate, to follow, and now we're going down to 15. So we started that restart going forward, now we're getting brought the other direction, now down to P17. It almost feels like a pack race in a sense of like a Daytona or a Talladega, where positions are kind of shuffling all the time. It's really interesting, but unfortunately we're going backwards right now as I'm fighting with my teammate. There's not a single Joe Gibbs car in the top 10, and it's as well looking like a Toyota issue. Toyota is struggling here in Iowa. I mean, we're seeing the 2311 guys around us. Reddick's in my mirror, Hamlin's further behind us. We know Corey Himes all the way in the back in the 47 with that JTG team. Bubba Wallace, I think right now is the best running Toyota, if I'm not mistaken here now as we approach these final 10 laps of the stage. At this point, 11 to go to be exact, though, into turn 1 out the inside of the 54, and you got Kyle Busch for Trackhouse Racing. When's that first win coming for Kyle Busch in Trackhouse? He's had a solid season. He hasn't had an incredible season, but his teammates, well, they've both won 3 races combined, with SVG at 2, Chastain at 1 now as we lean on that 99 a little bit on the exit of turn 2. We are back up to P11, so we went back to 17th, we rally back forward, and then we get to this outside, and I felt like 1 and 2, the outside was really good. I could really carry some momentum, but that was really it. Turns 3 and 4, a different scenario. I need to be on the bottom. There's the 31 of AJ Allmendinger having a good run. Caution is out here. Less than 10 to go in the stage. That's going to force a late green flag restart here for stage 1, and it was actually the number 10 of Gregson blowing a right front tire into the outside while he would go as we make more adjustments, pretty minor adjustments. Left side tire pressure is going down to 10 psi on those. Keselowski will lead the way. How about Sammy Smith, Alex Bowman, and AJ Allmendinger in the top 10? The rookie of Smith for Andretti, the 2 Colt cars off the news, of course, that they are selling some charters. We've had some big news recently, and we'll touch on that in a few moments, specifically RCR, but 2 laps to go in stage number 1. AJ Allmendinger in the 31 just in front of us. I don't think colleagues going to be kind to us tonight, and I think they might use that 31 exactly against me if they can, but it doesn't matter. We go around the outside. Look at this restart. 3 wide with Chase Elliott down the back straightaway into turn 3 into P6. Keselowski goes to the top. The Powerade Ford Mustang of Joey Logano to the inside in the final lap of stage 1 underway. Alex Bowman running great up here in P6 in that number 16, knowing whatever happens with colleague, his future might be on the line. He needs to impress. Now as we exit turn 2 on the back of the rookie of Smith down this backstretch for the final time in stage 1. Logano to the inside and to the lead. Keselowski's gonna choke away the stage win like he's done all those race wins in this career mode. Logano wins stage 1. It's gonna be P7 for us as we just barely get Larson at the line. A great stage finish for how I felt this car was driving, to say the least. I felt like it was a 15th place car, and we finished P7 in stage 1 with it, so I'm quite happy with that. Hopefully that doesn't mean we're going to get a bit of a reality check in stage 2, but we'll have to wait and see. Byron, the only one out. Nobody's coming into the pits there. We, of course, only ran 2 laps on those tires and fuel, so we'll stay out here. Restart row number 4, inside behind that Ally Financial Chevrolet Camaro, Alex Bowman. It seems like colleagues really benefiting off this specific track here now, but the green flag's back out in the mirror. You see a slow start for the 9 of Chase Elliott there in that Napa Auto Parts Chevrolet Camaro as we head down into turn number 1. Logano leads the way. Bowman forces Keselowski and his teammate of Buescher 3 wide, and Blaney goes goes 3 wide now as I get to the inside of the number 6 now. Kozlowski, I think, has one of the fastest cars, if not the fastest car here, so I was trying to shuffle him back, but yeah, I'm just struggling with the handling again, and you're going to see I'm plowing a little bit there, so I'm really having to be patient to get to that gas on the exit of 4 and as well on the exit of 2, but I'm finding a bit of a comfort level here in 1 and 2 where I can just kind of sail it off into the corner, and we get a really good run on the entrance, roll the center, get a decent exit, but the problem is the car is usually to my inside, and I need to be on the inside in turns 3 if I really want to be able to maximize the capabilities of this car, so it's like a double-edged sword. I can get through 1 and 2 really good, but I can't get through 3 and 4 very good when I'm not on the bottom, and you saw the repercussions right there into the outside wall, and now, just like we saw earlier, going backwards again. Eric Jones in the 43 passes us now as we are down to 11th place, as Reddick's been moving his way forward. Kozlowski back to the lead, Larson to second, we're 3 wide in the middle between Tyler Reddick and Sammy Smith, but now Reddick's going to go through, and here comes the 99 again of Kyle Busch. I love that green striped Goodyear tire, you can just see it really pops actually. I really enjoy the design of that now as we exit turn 2, but now settling in still to P11, we got past Sammy Smith, and here comes a move to the inside of that Wendy's number 99 Chevrolet for Trackhouse Racing. Not quite enough there to get clear on the exit of 4, but we continue this battle, and eventually through 1 and 2 we are going to be able to clear Kyle Busch, and now into the top 10 if we can complete this pass on the 17 of Chris Buescher, who's been going backwards, but I got back up to the outside, and there goes the 17, and here comes his teammate of the 60 of Justin Haley, and then we get trapped up here again. There goes Gibbs, and now I'm starting to slip and slide around a little bit as these laps go on. Lap 12 of the stage, problems in front of us. Who is that? It's the 26 of Hocevar blowing an engine there for the Andretti Global car, and he is into the pits. No caution. We stay green, but just bunched up everybody reacting to that moment right there, and somehow we didn't really lose or gain anything position-wise. We still run about P12, but you can see as we head down into turn 3, lap 14, we still got a mirror full of Kyle Busch and that 99, but it would quickly change as a 27 of Sammy Smith back to my inside. And how about Austin Cindric? Not been a pretty season, not been a pretty career mode for Cindric, but yet he's managed to win. I think both seasons that we've completed so far is both being road courses, but he clears us. He moves into P13 now. Bump from behind. It's the 31 of AJ Allmendinger, who's going to use the bumper and move us up out of the groove.
Keep you cool here.
He knows what I'm capable of. He doesn't want to play this game. We have proven before we're not just going to get pushed around. Allmendinger now, we're going to slide one up the inside of him, door banging the 31, and here we go again. Owen Kolig 2.0 seems to be in full force at this point now as we're going to clear the 31 into turn 3 after running through him, and now the bumper again to the back of us. Allmendinger shoves us out of the way again, and that was all I had here on the exit of turn 4. He is faster than me, and you can see now we're going backwards. Josh Berry in the 4 into the top 15. Bubba Wallace, Kyle Busch all passing us, and actually now we're going to come into the pits right here. We're going to make a pit stop a little bit early to try and save this car that's just falling down the order. We speed into the pit lane. I know I was speeding. Sorry. Well, I'll make it up. You hear me, flustered on the radio. Our second speeding penalty of the season now. The 35% races bring exactly that. More ability for green flag pit stops, more ability to speed. 31 seconds. We are stationary in our pit box, and now it's all about maintaining on the lead lap. Right now we're going to be 2 laps down, but the pit cycle, it's about to kick off for everybody. I wanted to pit a couple laps early, and other cars are already starting to come into the pits here. So all these cars around us, they would pit. There's Larson right there. That's the driver we're racing against. He was leading at the time of our pit stop, so he will be the leader. That's who we're trying to stay ahead of, as I actually catch the outside while we continue to struggle. It's not been a pretty night. It feels like a continuation on from Kentucky, but we exit turn 2, and now we're back on the lead lap. But Kyle Larson, you see the track map right there, that's the gap. We are on the lead lap by that much, only a few seconds. So as we exit turn 4, you see Toddy G, Mr. Todd Gilliland just behind, having a rough night as well, into the outside wall again as we continue to struggle with the handling of this car. It is so bad, man. It starts out so tight I can't turn it, and then 15 laps later I'm trying to not crash the car because it's trying to spin out.
I know. Stay calm, we got this.
James Ball, trying to keep us cool and calm, and we don't need to, be under pressure anymore because the caution's out, and that's the 13 that's gone around of Chandler Smith. My AI just likes to plow in anything in front of us tonight. He goes around, he blows the tire. Bubba Wallace gets a bit of contact in it as well. Not been a pretty night for Colleague and tire failures. That's the second one. The 10 of Gregson, now the 13 of Chandler Smith, who's been the best driver for that team this season. But we put on 4 tires, and we had nothing to lose right there. We only lose 1 spot by coming into the pits again. So we'll get ready to go back racing, and at least we've been brought back around to the back of the field here. So we have less than 10 laps to go. In stage number 2, Kyle Larson leads the way. It's a slow restart there from, I believe that was Suarez that backed up some cars, maybe the 38 of Riley Herbst, but nonetheless, look at the ground we just gained behind us. We got last week's winner, or last episode winner of Shane Van Gisbergen and Denny Hamlin having a really rough race again, and we talked about him earlier, of course, needing to figure out something now, as we got a pair of dark horse Ford Mustangs to deal with, Ryan Newman as well as Herbst. Now as I'm going to take the outside, 7 to go in stage 2 through 1 and 2. We're going to rip it around the top now, and we're already closing in on a top 20 spot, and we will get up to John Hunter Nemechek on the exit at 2, down this back straight away into the outside wall right there, getting a little bit of damage now, but we continue to work our way forwards, and I just keep overdriving the car on the short run, you know, trying to make up, get a good exit, but the car is so tight, it just doesn't allow for that. That's the big problem, as we are able to pass our teammate of Christopher Bell, who's having a rough night. All of Joe Gibbs Racing is having a pretty rough night here in Iowa now, and I don't see it getting any better. A few laps to go on the stage, and now up the inside of the Meyershank 06 Auto Nation car, Daniel Suarez, and Suarez actually, for that team's capabilities, that's a great run in that number 06. So we pass him, and as well get up the inside of now Chris Busher, who's been back and forth. There seems to be a lot of back and forth for some drivers tonight. Out of 4, having to back it down a little bit, and we fortunately stay ahead though on this final lap. Kyle Larson gonna pick up the stage win here in Iowa for stage 2. P18 for us. It wasn't pretty, that's for sure, but we rallied our way back to a subpar result in stage 2, and we're gonna come into the pits obviously and fill it up on fuel. Take 4 fresh tires. It's Larson, Elliott, Sammy Smith, Bowman, Logano, Haley, Kozlowski, Jones, Gibbs, and Bush. Your top 10 here in stage number 2. But we're looking at changing a few things here. We're going to go down on the tire pressures on the right sides. The left sides are all the way up to 16. They were down to 10 earlier, so we've been taking some big swings at the car, and we're going to leave the wedge the way it is for now. Take these adjustments into this final stage, see what happens, and then just continue to try and build upon the setup from there. And of course, we're only going to get one more pit stop right here, likely to have a chance to actually, you know, make this car better. But we restart behind the 31 of AJ Allmendinger on the run towards turn 1. Bubba Wallace in that Money Lion Toyota Camry filling up my rear view mirror. Ryan Blaney there in that second lane behind his teammate of Austin Cindric as we head down this back straightaway. Now this third and final stage, it's a lengthy one, about 60 laps total, so or a little less than 60 laps I should say now, but we got plenty of time to let things play out. But we're gonna need some luck to get a good result here tonight. I think a top 10, if we can get 10th or better, I will be pretty ecstatic with that, as it seems like we've kind of had a car that's capable, you know, of running about 15th all race long. But we clear Blaney, we clear Bush, and now at the inside of Cindric a few moments later, clear of him into P13. Larson driving away, Sammy Smith second, Kozlowski into third, now looking for that second position, but he couldn't quite get it yet. Now Chastain up to 4th. He's been kind of slowly and quietly grinding his way forward, but now we're going to lose a spot to Ryan Blaney here with 50 laps to go, so having that moment of going backwards again here on the track. Now it's just a lot of back and forth today, and you can see continuing to go backwards, and so is the 9 of Elliott going backwards now. Barely hanging on to the top 10 is Sammy Smith, has taken the lead from Kyle Larson briefly, but Brad Kozlowski was right there with him, ready for the taking, and now to the lead goes the 6 car here as we continue to trickle down the order. Unfortunately now Cindric gets past, Suarez gets past, and it's not looking pretty again now, just like it was in stage number 2. Kyle Busch now up my inside, and he's going to get us through 3 and 4. So down to P16, we have a good comfortable gap to P17, which is nice, but we want to focus in on moving forward. It's not about holding on to our position as Sammy Smith continues to lead. Crash in front of us, that's Ryan Blaney, blows a tire in 3 and 4. The caution's out, and he goes around collecting his teammate and myself. My AI just loves to hit cars tonight, as we're about to see the pit lane see a different varying strategies for certain drivers, but we are going to come in for 4 tires and fill it up. We cannot make it from here, but by the time the pit cycle runs out to basically choose when you want to pit after the countdown, Smith, Larson, Kozlowski are electing to stay on the racetrack, and so are a few other cars, a few slower cars, back marker kind of cars. So we're going to have to watch out for them as we're going to get back racing now. So Larson, Kozlowski, Sammy Smith, I think that's the recipe to throw your race away. we'll see how it works. We got 26 laps of field, 39 laps to go. So when it comes to field, though, it didn't matter if you pitted there or not. You still can't make it. You have to do one more stop from here to make it to the end now. So Larson, as well as Sammy Smith, Kozlowski, they still have to pit one more time. We still have to pit one more time. The advantage that everybody has on them is tires, but here's Briscoe in the way. You see Christopher Tate in the 33 Friends Racing team in the way as well. So you got these slower cars, and it was not making it easy. Noah Gregson, Ryan Priest as well in the 15. Priest, what has happened to that 15 team? They were looking so strong earlier in the season. They have struggled to find some consistency, though, as the season progresses into the midway point now at this point. But here we go, up to P13 after all this madness. Now Kozlowski, Larson 1-2. We're up the inside of the 54 of Ty Gibbs. We'll pass him. Get to the inside of Todd Gilliland as well. We'll pass that number 34. He was one of the drivers that stayed out on the racetrack. And now up into P11 as Larson takes over the lead, but still just pushing a little bit too hard with 35 laps to go still in this race now as Busher fills up my rear view mirror. But we are closing in on those final, of course, stretches of this race here. And looking in the mirror, here comes Josh Berry and that Stewart Haas Racing team. He's looking pretty solid here tonight now as he's into this top 12 at least. But Chase Elliott, he was dropping quite dramatically here, and we would pass him easily. And into the top 10 we go. We'll take it, as I still don't feel like we have a top 10 car. But we made it happen, and now you're seeing Kozlowski and Sammy Smith really seeing the negative sides of staying out. Kozlowski, who has one of the fastest cars, has thrown another chance, I think, at victory away. We pass him, and we quickly run down Sammy Smith. Looking up ahead, Larson still leading, even on the older tires. Eric Jones in the 43, he is going to have to pit earlier, so all these guys are about to have to pit, and here they go. Suarez is in. He was able to stay up there. Larson as well. Allmendinger, I believe, one of them that stayed out potentially, but Eric Jones for sure in that 43. He is going to have to pit here momentarily as well now as we continue to move up the grid because of those pit stops into P6 on the inside of the 43. Josh Berry just behind myself right now with 24 laps to go in this race. We can make it from here on field now as we roll through 1 and 2 on the exit of the corner on the inside of the 16 of Alex Bowman. The 43 slow, and Eric Jones and Legacy Motor Club, he's out of field as we go into turn 3, I think. And you can see him slow on the inside. He gets to the pit lane, but we move up to P4. As you can see, Kyle Busch, Justin Haley, AJ Allmendinger all out in front, but quickly to join the party back here with me and Bowman was the 12 of Ryan Blaney. He just blew a tire. He brought out the last caution. He is rallying his way back forward. That number 12 looking very feisty late in the going now as there was actually contact with the 16 of Bowman on my rear bumper. He tried to go up the inside and I had no chance to pull out of that corner there, but he fortunately keeps it straight, but Kozlowski doesn't. Blows a tire. The caution's gonna fly again, and what a horrific plan for that 6 team. Larson as well is gonna have to start further down the order as we're electing for 4 tires, and I know everyone else is gonna take 2. I won't be able to hold on 2 tires. We've seen it all night long, James, so we need 4 here.
Okay, we'll lose track position, but I agree with you. Be aggressive on this restart.
So we're going to give up track position, but if I did 2 tires, I was not going to be able to hold on to the end of this race comfortably. So we lose 12 spots. We're down to P17. Never say never, but we're going to have a fresh tire advantage. Of course, we're only going to have 17 laps of racing to go. We're back underway here. It's Justin Haley leading the way. Watch for what Larson can do. He's got to work his way through the field as we head down into turn number 1, and a bit of a stack up right there. Got to be patient at least through 1 and 2, but now as we come towards the end of this lap, that's when we can kind of, try to light it up, get it going kind of deal. Allmendinger now side by side with the 60 as I actually use up the 45 a little bit. Sorry, that's the 23 on the exit of turn 4 right there. And now we get ahead of Bubba Wallace into turn 1 up the inside of Hamlin, our teammate now for 13th place, and we're going to be able to get past him. And now it's time to put these tires to work. We can kind of get spread out and go for it. Coming to 15 to go. It's Allmendinger out in front. Barry up there as well. A lot of surprise names in the mix, but we are continuing to click off positions here and use these 4 fresh tires to our advantage. Into the top 10, passing both the 2 and his Penske teammate of Ryan Blaney to the back of the Trackhouse driver of Kyle Busch. Now up the inside into turn 3. New leader Alex Bowman in the 16. Chastain just behind as we get up the inside of Logano into 9th place. Now 8th, now 7th, passing Barry, who was just 2nd. down to 8th now. Ty Gibbs, our teammate, just in front of us. Everyone in front of us is on 2 tires. Never say never, but could we pull off a miracle drive here and find a way to victory lane in Iowa? I don't think it's going to happen now. Crash behind us, Kyle Busch blows the tire and goes around in the 99 Wendy's machine. The caution is out, and that closes us up even more to the leaders. We're going to be row number 3.
We can win this race, Gary. Get after it here.
Yeah, certainly not where I expected to be, but I'm going to give it everything. So now, row 3, outside front row, Bowman, Chastain, Busher, Haley, row 2, Ty Gibbs, myself, row 3. We're back racing. 9 laps to go here from Iowa, and suddenly we have an opportunity to win this race now. Into turn 1, the goal is simple. Put it up to the outside and just absolutely ship it off into turn 1 like we're mailing an envelope to South Korea. I don't know. Anyways, exit turn 2, 3 wide down the back straightaway with Ross Chastain, and now here we go with an opportunity to get up into second place on the exit of turn 4, and we clear the 1, but we're wheel to wheel with the 17 into the top 3 with 8 laps to go. Alex Bowman leads the way over Busher and myself. Bowman would love to get this victory, of course. What a story that would be for Colleague Racing, who's got another car in 4th, but we slide in line behind the 17. I couldn't quite clear them on the outside, but they were covering the inside too well to where I couldn't get up the inside. So 6 to go, jumping back up to the top. Here we go, the run on the outside again to that Fastenal Ford Mustang of Chris Busher, and as we come through 3 and 4 now towards 5 to go, we catch the outside wall. We keep it free from actual damage, so it's just visual, but now you see the gap. We need to hope for some help here now. Through 1 and 2, we rip the top again, trying to close in, and through 3 and 4, Busher and Bowman both go to the outside. Here's the opportunity to strike on the inside. We close in on the 17 in 3 and 4. 1 and 2, they do the same. We get now alongside the 17 and alongside the 16 of Alex Bowman. A miracle drive is nearly complete. Into 3 and 4, we go through for the lead. Can we clear the 16? The answer is no. Bowman keeps it right there on our door on the exit of the corner in our mirror. Here comes 2 very quick cars. Bellini and Larson closing quick. Larson's to the inside. We clear Bowman and need to hope he keeps those 2 at bay, and he is doing exactly that. 2 laps to go through 1 and 2. Suddenly, we have found a way to the lead in Iowa. A night where we've complained about the car. It's not been pretty. A speeding penalty. We have gone backwards most of the race. In moments of going forwards, it always ends with a poor outcome, but out of turn 4, we lead the way. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. As we lead the way into 1 and 2, Bowman continues to cover up the 5 of Larson. He's not making it easy on a former Hendrick teammate as we head down this back straightaway for the final time, and Colleague Racing, surprisingly, is going to be the driver, a driver from Colleague that's going to help us get this win. We slide up on the exit of 4, opening the door for Bowman, but it's not enough. We win in Iowa. Unbelievable, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Win number 2. Maybe the most unexpected one of my career.
Let's go, mate. Awesome drive. Way to hang in there.
Gary, it's Coach Gibbs. Great drive. Way to hang on tonight. Show of maturity after last week. Good stuff.
We get to celebrate our 2nd win of the season with Joe Gibbs racing in the number 19. We'll take it. A very unexpected win, but things just worked out at the end perfectly. Now you see the finishing order on your screen. I mean, Larson and Bellini were so fast at the end. I was quite worried about them. And one of the names that I want to pay attention to is Denny Hamlin, and he was down in 24th position. Not pretty. Just hasn't been a good season like we've talked about. He definitely needs some help. Kyle Busch, Chandler Smith, Carson Hocevar, as well as William Byron, the DNFs, and Kyle Busch in the bubble right now without a win is going to need some help. Gilliland ends up 34th after what should have been a way better night for him as well. Looking at the points, however, now the playoff grid, Hamlin is 10 points below Bubba Wallace for the final spot, but Kyle Busch's DNF brings him a lot closer to that cutoff line as we focus in on Road America in the next episode. Back to some road course racing. Both road races this season, we have had 1v1 duels with Shane Van Gisbergen, and of course Mid-Ohio brought a lot of chaos and we didn't get to fight towards the end, unlike Sonoma, but I think we could see another 1v1 with SVG again. I'll see you guys then. Have a great day.